Was Constantine even in that episode?
The finale?
No.
I don't know. It was 90 minutes long. So maybe at the beginning.
94.
But no, it was like 88 minutes. It's like an hour and 28.
Hello, everybody. I'm Will.
And I'm Kristen.
And this is So I'm Watching Dune Prophecy, Season 1 of more to come, apparently. Episodes 5 and 6.
In Blood, Truth, and The High-Handed Enemy.
So, where are you? Yeah.
I'm glad it's getting more, because I feel like if this is how it ended, I would be furious.
Well, there's part of me that's like, part of me feels like I just finished the pilot.
Sure.
Like, part of me feels like my biggest issue that I've had with the show, I love the concept of it. I'm constantly asking for this, and then when I get it, I'm like, but it's not exactly.
Not like that, though.
No, I'm always asking for like more palace intrigue and, space witches. And my two biggest issues are that I was almost always following it, but I wasn't getting it. Does that make sense? Do you know what I mean when I say that?
Sort of, yes. Like, you understand the steps that are happening, but you don't know why.
But yeah. Well, but I'm just sort of like, there's something about it that I'm like, okay. It's like when you had to learn about, world history, and it's like, I'm sure that this is good information and or important or could have even been enjoyed at some point. But I'm like, I don't, there's a bigger picture problem that I have had with Dune entirely. Sure. Even the movies. I like the first Dune.
Yeah.
The second one I need to see again because I was in a bad place when we saw it, and I remember just kind of being like, this is a lot. And
we could watch it again sometime.
Yeah. There's just there's something about the overall stakes of it, I guess, that I'm just sort of.
Well, sure, because the stakes are at once galactic and also so personal.
Yeah,
I get it. I get that part of it for sure. My biggest issue is that I like the men keep winning, and
did they this time?
We are in flux. Like, nobody has like officially won.
And I think that's part of, I honestly think that piggybacks off of my, I'm not getting it, because it's like, I approached this show thinking that Valia is our protagonist, and I don't know if that's just because that's how movie posters work, but I'm just fine with her being the lead, and I feel like I'm meant to be more conflicted and or dislike her more than I am.
So that's the thing, because we got a comment on our last episode, and I don't give a single shit that the sisterhood is like sus or anything. That's where the interesting stuff is. If Desmond didn't exist on this show, I would like it way more.
I've come around on Desmond. I said while we were watching it, where I was like, I agree, because both you and Will sort of have fundamental problems with Travis Fimmel.
Not always is the thing, but in this, it's like it's just a white man. He is failing upwards, because it's like, and then everybody's attitude around him is so fucking stupid, because Valia underestimated him at first, and then we come back around and she's like, he can't be underestimated, and so I was like, great, love that for you. But then Haviko is like, yes, absolutely. You're the new Bashar, and like you're leading the army, and you're doing all of this, and like absolutely. And then the minute that he's like maybe gone too far, Haviko is like, well, absolutely not. Who gave you the right? And it's like, bitch, you did. Like, and you can't displace him from his position now, because he is too powerful, and he's also like a wild card with all his powers and shit. And so it's like, you can't put the wild card with powers at the top of your political structure and then try to remove him from that. It's not going to go your way. And obviously it didn't end up being Desmond who killed Haviko, but like, it was all set in motion in the same place.
Yeah.
And that kind of shit is very frustrating to me, because I'm like, you're being stupid, allowing all of this, and then you're like shocked when he can't be like brought to heel. What were you expecting?
We have a cast of characters, which I love an ensemble. Yeah. I love when there's so many people, And I feel like they're not doing anything. And when they do, it's like, oh, well, that's not what I wanted these people to do. And so it's one of these things where, and this is unique, personal to me specifically, not everybody else's viewing experience, but I'm just sort of like, oh, I like what I would have done with these things better than what they're actually doing.
Sure. And to be perfectly fair, I have not read this book. And like I've only read the first Dune book by Frank Herbert. I haven't read any Brian Herbert stuff, so I don't know if this is all following the novel.
I hate that I keep comparing this to House of the Dragon because I feel very similarly with both of them, where I'm like, is this one of those things where we're beholden to a weird textbook text that they're trying to?
I don't know.
Find a way to dramatize because
Will has also not read Sisterhood of Dune, so I don't, or Sisterhood of whatever. So I don't know.
The thing that I find intriguing about Travis Fimmel, other than
he's hot.
Well, but his model days, he was something, and I was exactly the right age. I was 17 when his Calvin Klein campaigns were running.
He's very rugged now.
He's very rugged, and I don't hate that. That's actually kind of an appeal. I like because he's more than 45, and I like that he's still handsome, but he doesn't look like when I wouldn't
45.
Okay.
Yeah.
If I didn't know he was a male underwear model, I wouldn't know he was a male underwear model where he started. And he's done plenty of acting. And the thing that I do love is he does stuff with acting. And I do like that he's soft-spoken. And I do like that he's weird. My problem is I just don't always, the weirdness implies that there are staggering depths underneath the character, and we don't always get that.
I think it's more like a lake where it's like but not a deep lake, a lake that's just like murky, so you can't see where the bottom is, but like it doesn't go above your knees.
Because and I mentioned it twice, but I was like, he kind of gives me a Chris Hemsworth thing, and Chris Hemsworth, another one who I think is great and better than a lot of what he's.
The thing too, though, is maybe Travis Fimmel needs to do comedy, because Chris Hemsworth is like shockingly good at comedy. Specifically in Endgame, the one of the final scenes of Endgame where Thor is leaving with the Guardians and he's arguing with Star-Lord, and it's of course. Yeah, of course. Yeah. And the crazy eyes. It's like that is Desmond Hart all the time. Yeah, and I love the potential of that. Okay, here's my issue is that like I agree with you about the weirdness. Like I'm with you to a point where I'm like, yeah, I like that you're doing something, but it's like he's not deploying the weirdness correctly. Or at least not yet, because again, I still feel like the story is I feel like I only now sort of understand this story. And maybe 6 episodes wasn't enough. I don't think it was. I think we needed 8. A solid 8, maybe 10. Because I said when we were watching this, where I was like, I don't know. I mean, Game of Thrones took me like a good 9 episodes before I was in. But that was such a different time. And I'm getting fatigued with throwing my weight behind these shows that I think I'm going to like or want, only to have them not pay off for me and or worse, have them pay off and taken away from me. No, 100%, because we also, like we said at the top, apparently this did get a season 2, which we weren't aware of until tonight, but also when? Precisely. You know, I could barely, the month-long break we had between episodes 4 and 5, I could barely hang on to. And so that's the kind of thing where I'm just like, I don't really know, like at what point do we stop? This feels like they might be able to, like, I don't know that we'll get it in 25, but I feel like by like March of 26, we'll have it. Which is fine. I'll give them a year and a half grace period. I'm willing to do 18 months, but it's like, but the 3-year has got to stop. And again, I'm willing to give grace to certain things like Yellow Jackets and Silo and stuff like that got really hit by the strikes, like, or even something like It's All the Rage to make fun of Stranger Things, but I'm like, that took on a life of its own, and in many ways, it was setting a new precedent. Plus, that got hit by COVID. A new mold. Like we would have been done we would have been done with Stranger Things easily 2 years ago if we hadn't had COVID and we hadn't had the strikes.
And so in that sense, I think Stranger Things has done a great job because it also
I think the Duffers are really able to pivot in a way that not a lot of creators are. But like the issue comes to me when it's like we had basically almost 3 years in between Rings of Power seasons. And like that's sort of egregious. And 2 years in between House of the Dragon.
It was, I was gonna say it was 2, but
I mean, that's just a lot. And so like if again, like you said, if we're not gonna get this again until like end of 2026, like I don't.
And another thing,
I'm trying hard not to judge this season by that potential future, but I am in the place where it's like this, if I feel the season wasn't long enough that we didn't get like the proper either character development or actors being able to settle into the character for it to become fully satisfying to me, what makes you think that in 3 years I'm gonna still give a shit at all about it?
It appears Desmond Hart, or it doesn't appear, Desmond Hart
100%.
is Tula's baby. That surprised me. And I should have seen that coming, that she got pregnant and potentially even had a baby. And I appreciated that reveal. And that's part of what I mean when I was like, I feel like only now am I actually aware. And so Valia didn't know that, that Tula gave him up. That was like a plot hatched from, who was the sister that was helping her with that?
Was it Francesca?
Was it Francesca?
Or was it Kasha?
I think I liked Francesca. That sentence ends there. Well, it's sort of I could kind of tell when we met her that we were meeting a character of importance, but then I mean we did that thing where it's sort of that Once Upon a Time thing where it's sort of like backfilled in why she was important and then killed her off. And I was like, oh, okay.
Well, so like we had her before because we recognized her an episode or two ago from Bridgerton because she's Edwina, the young one.
Yes, but that was a flashback, so I didn't know who that was.
Yeah, she was just listed as
okay, right. I knew we had heard the name Francesca. Right. Okay, so I'll withdraw a little bit.
But I take your point because we find out that she is Constantine's mother and Haviko is imprinted on her, which caused my husband to gracefully name drop Jacob and Renesmee from Twilight and then be very disappointed in himself that he remembered their names.
I wouldn't be. I almost said while we were watching, I was going to be like, I don't think you should be disappointed. I was like, that's just pop culture knowledge. I mean,
my favorite thing is that all the people on the internet just call her like Robitussin and like retinol and it's so funny. But yeah, so he basically is still really like into her and the queen hates it. And God, the queen.
So I haven't fully finished because clearly the people watching this, if they've made it this far, are here for Desmond Hart. So,
oh God, you're still not done with that?
No, because he's apparently something got a hold of him and used thinking machines to give him a virus through his eye that can get to the part of your brain where your fear receptors are located.
So he's Pennywise the Clown.
And basically turn that against you.
Yeah. And
the sisters can kind of fight it because it's part of their training for when they do that, whatever it's called.
The ritual that opens your brain.
The Kobayashi Maru. And so they learn how to fight on a cellular level. And so we watched them attempt to fight this thing
with another apparently disposable sister.
Yeah, we got plenty more where that came.
Yeah, let's get rid of some of these fucking acolytes that are following Aoife Hines. What's her sister name? Because I'm sick of her sister Emmeline. I'm sick of her.
Which one is Emmeline?
She's the one that's like now she's all like all about Sister Dorothea because she's like reading about all the, I fucking Sister Dorothea. Now you're making Lila be Sister Dorothea. I
didn't like that at all. I liked the Raquella. I liked when she was Raquella, but also so why does Dorothea have this on lock when Raquella was a little bit like they made comments about how, well, we don't know who's going to come back when she wakes up, but she's just Dorothea now.
Yeah. I think Lila's not good enough at like fighting to like, because she's supposed to. What's supposed to happen? What all the sisters have done, which is why Tula can hear voices, kind of, and so can Valia. every sister takes that to become like a mother, like, so they're not sister something anymore, they're mother whoever, and so they all have the voices in them, but the way that it happened to Lila, she's not properly settled, so they're all sort of like rotating in her, and Raquella and Dorothea are the strongest ones, so they're coming out the most. But it's like all of them who have taken that test have all the sisters in them all the time. Yeah, because it's like what Lady Jessica did. Why Alia is going to be so crazy. Yeah.
But to go back to the beginning, Dune 2, I was only partially plugged in for that. So yeah, so we don't know what did this to Desmond, but that's what the eyes of God they were seeing were.
I guess, yeah.
The light from whatever the machine was. Yeah. And how does he use his eye to transmit this virus to make people? Clue. Is that part of what we're meant to be doing in this endeavor?
Yeah.
Okay. I kind of dogged like Kieran and Inez a little bit while we were watching the show, but I liked them in this.
Well, I've liked Inez the whole time, and I have been way more into Kieran than you are. The whole like Atreides of it all is like very tiresome to me at this point.
The
10,000 years in the past.
Yeah. I liked their whole escape thing. Yeah. I liked, although R.I.P. Theodosia, I feel like
I think she's just arrested.
She was stabbed, but
no, he punched her. He was stabbed.
Okay.
I think she's just gonna.
I would keep Theodosia, but
me too. I think she's gonna be in that suspension jail
in that state. I liked the swapping them out, and I liked. I found Inez to be a little bit wet blankety, or a little bit. There was another word we used that I don't really remember, but she started to come into things a little bit in these last two episodes, and when they were trying to escape and they were going through whatever that little terminal was, it like turned into a Star Wars movie for a little bit, and I was like, this I'm liking.
I actually really liked when she was sassing the guards when she was like leaving this dinner or whatever.
And I don't want her to be overpowered, like I don't want her to be, but I like the fact that she isn't worthless.
Well, we also like established that she was learning to fight. Kieran was teaching her to fight, and so that's like I don't. That's not overpowered to me. So
I mean, in this day and age, God knows.
Fuck you. That's how we were introduced to her, was physical combat. I can't. No, I really liked that too. But then to your negative point, they wound up in Arrakis at the end. The Atreides and the princess wound up in fucking Arrakis again. So that is, iffy. The Harkonnen nephew.
Yeah, I liked him. I'm a little bit. And maybe that's part of my like issue where I'm like, the characters aren't doing what I want them. I think I'm seeing things in these characters that is not there.
Well, that's
like I'm like the queen, like Natalia, like Harrow is his name, the nephew.
Yeah.
There's a handful.
Good one. I did not remember that, and I'm looking at it.
Well, I liked him.
Yeah.
And he seems like he would be kind of a worthless character, and I'm like, he's gonna pull through for someone. I don't know which one, and it's not seeming like it's gonna go.
No,
like,
and so that
I kind of want him to choose Valia.
Me too. And so that's the main issue that I think you and I are both having, is we are so like, yes, please, more space witches, but the characters in the show are like, ew, space witches. And I'm like, no, that's the incorrect way to take it.
I mean, I understand that Valia is ruthless and we'll go with shady.
Yeah, but okay, but
I'm sort of fine with that. I don't mind watching an anti-hero.
For sure, and a female one at that. And that's the thing that's like the most irritating to me about especially Sister Emmeline and now her acolytes, and now Sister Dorothea inside Lila, because I can understand Sister Dorothea's anger because she was forced to kill herself. I get that. The thing that bothers me is that, like, even though we know Valia to be ruthless, I don't think she necessarily behaves ruthlessly with the sisters. So it's like, she obviously has a way she wants things done, and all of her actions are to make that end, but she's not like they're not getting beaten and all. Like, they're learning and they're doing
well, sure, but
what's supposed to happen.
I think that's what the Dorothea is meant to.
What do you mean?
That we keep flashing back to the scene of
No,
her killing Dorothea and then killing
I don't like Sister Emmeline. I don't like this generation removed picking up the mantle of something they didn't experience and have no direct knowledge of, and they don't know anything, and at the end they're destroying the genetic code shit, which Dorothea was trying to do before, and I still think is like actually a huge asset if you use it properly. It's like so.
That's what I don't remember if this was the joke that I was trying to remember when we started, but when that part was happening in the final episode, I was like, you really get the sense that this is like a 150-year cycle.
Yeah.
Like every 200 years we rebuild this computer just to have the ghost of the previous generation destroy it. Yeah. And it just goes on and on. And
that's the thing too, is like I have this issue with lots of stuff like this, because it's like by the time they're doing that, every single authority figure has left the building. Mm-hmm. Valia's gone, Tula is gone because she has to find her son. And Sister,
like that?
No, I don't like that at all. And Sister Avila,
I didn't know how I felt about it, but that was
really bad.
It felt okay. So the reveal, I think, was good.
The reveal is good, but then I have to hold him. Like, no. He absolutely needs to be disposed of, and I don't care how sad you are and how like delicious of a fucking you got from that Atreides boy.
I'm not ready to get rid of him yet, but okay.
Regardless, by that point, Valia's gone, Tula's gone to find Desmond, and Sister Avila is useless. Like, just the most flip-floppy, wishy-washy. Absolutely not. And so it's like she
wouldn't have been worth her weight in the Salem witch trials.
Unbelievable. And so it's like the patients are running the asylum at that point. And so and I don't like when things like that happen, when like the people who are actually responsible are like not around to do anything about it, because also Kasha's dead. And then so is Francesca. So it's like there's only the Harkonnens left, the two Harkonnen sisters left of those original 4 who covered up the Dorothea thing. And again, yes, that it was a bad thing, but to the point you made earlier, they are our protagonists, seemingly. So it's like
somebody needs to have vision in this world.
What else am I supposed to do besides root for them? Like, it's like, again, I know they're doing bad things, but like they are our point of view characters.
I wanted more. Yeah, I wanted more from Havoko too. I mean, I don't know
just
how
useless man. Just, again, not worth his weight in shit.
I kept waiting for the daddy's home moment, and I was like, oh, we're just going to kill ourselves? Okay.
Well, that too. And I mean, I guess blessedly he didn't slit his throat, which seems to be the favorite way of death.
The only way.
It's like the only way you can make sure or whatever. He stabbed himself in the heart. But I don't.
Because I really liked him.
And Francesca going down with him was really...
You were so mad.
Really annoying.
When the sun came up and he was still in bed with Francesca, I was like, dude, I know you're the king of the universe, but I was like, come on. Because that's the same thing I was thinking with, and I mentioned it during that beautiful dinner scene where Natalia was so visibly.
Yeah. School your face, bitch. You are the queen of the universe. Like.
And I was like, I know this is largely for our part, for the audience, so that the audience understands she's upset about it. Mm-hmm. But I was like, the way that Jodie had been playing her, I don't believe for 1 second that woman would ever let her guard down.
I agree.
Let the actors start writing shows? I don't know. Like, it just...
Do we need to start having more like improv-y kind of like where you're like, this is what's happening in this scene, have at it kind of?
Because we still have Natalia, right? Yeah. She's still at play.
Yeah, she's the fucking queen now.
I wanted differently from her. I wanted more and different from Havoko.
Yeah.
And I'm even fine with getting rid of them because it suits, Duke Leto and
sure.
Stark. I mean, getting rid of your king in the first season.
Well, also, I feel like Mark Strong signs on for what he wants to sign on for. But that's the thing too, is that like, so now Natalia is queen of the universe, but
she's still in league with Desmond.
She's still saddled with Desmond. So it's like, you can't take one misstep or else he's gonna burn you alive from the inside out. Like, that's the thing for me. I was like, you cannot control
by
this
the
weapon.
end, he was no. Where did he and Tula end?
He had her arrested.
Yeah, so she's arrested.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
And he has been stabbed for sure, like pretty bad. He was like on his back. Valia did manage to get through the poison or whatever, the virus.
Mm-hmm.
And she is with them on Arrakis.
On Arrakis.
Yeah.
Okay. And did we lose that one sister, Michaela?
No, she got away.
The Fremen turned sister, turned rebel, turned bartendress, turned.
She just like left. She was sort of like, good fucking luck, bye.
But she was in league with Kieran.
Yeah.
So we'll probably see them again. Okay.
I hope so. I liked her.
I did enjoy
Her name's Shalom.
the flashback to Valia trying to save Griffin.
Mm-hmm.
It was filmed really well.
Yeah.
I was feeling the stakes.
Yeah.
You know, I was feeling
and the
it.
swap off between Emily and oh no, I forget the young version's name.
Those two
It
girls,
was good.
the two young versions of this, all four sisters, I think are pretty great. I that's what I'm wondering is I'm wondering if this is Tula's world and we're all just living in it. Like everyone thinks, and I mean up until this point it has been Valia being, you know, the one steering, but I wouldn't take an eye off Tula. I would keep
No, for sure. For sure. Especially because they all four were like telling the other sisters to choose. And like, but it felt like more was happening. They all slit their throats.
except for
Avila. But what was it not? Were they like not just saying choose? Was there like something else in there?
No, I don't know why that's the way we're going.
Because
for it.
they literally just all, and there was like no thought. They all immediately slit their throats rather than follow Valia.
Yeah. Well, because she's evil.
She's not evil. She's definitely
a
not
woman has a
evil.
little bit of ambition, and suddenly,
God forbid girls do anything.
The throat slitting might have just been storytelling, just to make sure that we know that they're dead, because it's very easy to survive, like the side stab or whatever.
No, that's not my issue. Is not how they killed themselves. My issue is that they immediately killed it. There was no like, oh God, I don't know. It was like, it was as if the choose meant, no, just kill yourself somehow.
Oh, well, I kind of think that was implied to me.
Yeah, I don't. It's just weird.
Yeah, I don't know. I would watch. I would and probably will watch. Certainly check in on a second season. I would hope that maybe it tightens a little bit. That it.
Or I'd love 8 episodes.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can stay loose if you're getting all your shit across, but
I mean, even like the vision. Like
sure.
I want to feel more like I'm on. I think I want to feel like I'm on a roller coaster, and I feel like I'm sort of on a free form, just on
a lazy river.
Yeah, and I'm sort of like I want to understand what's happening and where I'm going. Yeah. And I mean, I don't have to see all the track in front of me, but I want a sense of what it is we're working towards.
It doesn't have to be fucking, I don't know, rock and roller coaster. It can be Thunder Mountain. I still like Sister Jen. But now she is drinking the Kool-Aid as well, which I don't love. Because here's the thing. At this point, okay, if perhaps Sister Dorothea was not made to kill herself, we would have still had a division kind of about what direction the sisterhood should have taken. And I might have been more interested in that. But now it is a vengeance mission. And that is not sisterhood above all. Now you are trying to take down other sisters. Because you're mad that she killed you, basically. Which, again, yes, you're allowed to be mad, but, like, you can't take everything down with you. And that, it seems like what's happening.
Oh, it also seems like they destroyed the computer.
Yeah, I mentioned that.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. And then, so...
Which I think is short-sighted. I did also really like when the younger 4 of them were in there looking at the computer, and when they, like, were arranging for, like... Natalia and Haviko's daughter, like, to do that. I thought that was really
visually, it was very well done. It was very well presented well.
Yeah.
So okay, yeah, watch this space. We don't specifically have. Well, True Blood season 3 is coming, and we're gonna
Yellow
dive.
Jackets is pretty soon.
Yellow Jackets, that's a good one.
Yeah,
watch the
2
space
months.
for Yellow Jackets. We're gonna dive in an interview with a vampire, and our plan is to be caught up to go live this year
with season 3.
So, yeah, we're gonna.
And Once Upon a Time also.
Once Upon a Time is coming, and then we do try to do once a month live streams where we sort of play with Legos and talk about the things that we're watching.
So come hang out with us on New Year's Eve.
Yeah,
we're doing it on New Year's Eve. Not for like a countdown at 6 p.m. But definitely come hang out. We'll be here for a handful.
Well,
of
we're
hours.
doing our like year in review. We're doing like our 2024.
But we're doing it live.
Mm-hmm.
Exciting.
And then there's gonna be chicken.
Definitely chicken. Maybe some shrimpies.
Maybe some hot sauce.
Well, I didn't buy new hot sauce, so we can eat the same hot sauce as before.
So, yeah, okay.
Bye.